Good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the Accendo Traders Group. This is our weekend wrap-up trade plan for December 21st, 2008. AccendoTrader.com, effective video trade plans delivered daily. We certainly want to wish everyone a happy holidays as we enter our winter break here. But let's go ahead and see what we have in store for this week. As we come together each night, we develop our trade plan for the next trading session. On the weekends, we want to pay attention to blogs and sectors to see what's moving, where should we be putting our money. We always want to scan for new trades, but the most important thing is we want to make sure that we have time to spend with our family. So the week that was, basically we had the market ending unchanged for the week, down a little bit, up a little bit, but in the end, the market basically consolidated for the whole week. But believe it or not, we actually had a historic week on the for our stock market this week. First and foremost, the FOMC cut their Fed funds target rate for 1% down to 25%, a quarter of a percent for their Fed funds rate. They basically also implied that they'll do anything that they can to stimulate the economy and the lending credit crisis. And this was certainly led to a nice move on Tuesday. The market moved up on Tuesday. But this move basically ended up being equivalent to a short covering rally because it was gone the next day. It was gone like snow here in Atlanta. We also had Goldman Sachs report its first loss since becoming a public company. But that was muted also because they reported Tuesday morning, and then the FOMC cut their rates larger than expected. Instead of 50%, 75 basis point. And so that rally in the afternoon kind of muted the fact that Goldman Sachs reported its first loss. But again, when we talk about the fact that the rally didn't work with the cutting of the rate, and Goldman Sachs was just another flare into the sky saying that we have a weak economy, and the outlook for our economy is bleak. And although the Fed said they're going to do all they can do and they cut their rates, in the end, we all know that 2009 is going to be a very rough year for our companies. Best Buy also, in their earnings, they beat earnings, but they talked about how dramatic of a change there is for the consumer and, basically lowered their outlook for 2009. We had S&P cut their rating on GE, specifically because of GE Capital, and some 11 U.S. and European companies. More details came out about the Madoff Ponzi scandal. More of the organizations, especially the charities that were taken in by him. And also more about the fact that, they've known about this since the 90s. That's crazy. Some more details came out about that. OPEC announced that it's cutting its production by 4.2 million barrels per day, which caused a spike up, but then it went back down. So oil was continuing to go down to the point that my brother called me up and said gas is so cheap he's driving down with his family from Virginia to spend some time with me next weekend. So I'm really looking forward to that. So thanks, OPEC. And then on Friday, we had the government announce its $17 billion TARP deal for the auto industry. And this is sort of like the Fed's fund cut rate. The market rallied and then basically fell back for the rest of the day on Friday, actually ending lower, 25 points for the Dow. GM and Chrysler getting about $13 billion now, $4 billion in February. Ford is out of this, so people should be wondering why Ford's getting pulled down with everybody else. Ford actually went through this restructuring a couple years ago. But again, if the car czar believes that they're not viable, then they will call the loan in March. And finally, there's a lot of talk about this stimulus package out there. It's up to $850 billion, close to $1 trillion. So we'll see. Last week talked about some sectors that might benefit from that, but we'll see. So this week, we don't have a lot going on. And remember, of course, we got the market closed. We have our holiday coming up here. So remember that we're probably going to have light volume. And so we could see some volatility. We should see the market swings with some of this light volume. Certainly want to trade safe if you trade at all. I did mention that we have Circuit City tomorrow before the market open. We all know that Circuit City is already, closing stores, and a lot of negative news has come out about Circuit City. So I don't know what that might say about the state of the consumer, especially as we go into this holiday week and people supposedly going out to shop. And there's our split play that we've been watching. So, stay safe. Watch out for the low volume and big swings with that low volume. And let's go ahead and take a look at what we could be looking at for this week. But again, trade lightly if you trade at all. As we already said, look, the market's going to have light volume this week, so we definitely want to trade lightly, if at all. I'm going to be watching the refinery market here. I'm still watching metals. You can see they're still looking okay. Definitely still watching gold. And we got some drug stocks to look at, and also biotech. Most of the other sectors have shown that they went up to the 50 moving average and are pulling back. So we have some indecision. We have some consolidation. Again, trade lightly if you trade at all. Okay, as we go to the educational portion of our video, we're using the book Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, Chapter 4, Consistency, Aligning Your Mental Environment. And last week, we kind of ended on the thought that awareness does not equal belief. And certainly you can think of a lot of things in your life, a lot of political things, a lot of social things. We might be aware of a lot of things. Doesn't mean if you believe it. And it's the same way with trading. You may be aware of things that you need to do with to be a successful trader, but you may not believe it. I don't want to get into a motivational speaking here or get into entrepreneurship here, but I'll share the story that I've shared so many times, that I had people tell me, this lady JJ, I had people tell me, you want to be a successful trader? Make a trade plan. Okay, yeah. But how do I make money? And that's what a lot of people do. People are aware that you need to have a system in place. People are aware that you need a trade plan. People are aware that you need to have an understanding of market knowledge. And people are even aware that you have to learn how to control yourself. But they are all, not all, but most people are still looking for the get-rich-quick scheme. People are looking for that golden nugget. People are looking for that mystery key that unlocks all profits and you'll never lose money again. And they ignore what they are aware they have to do. Can you make money in the stock market? Heck yes. You can make a lot of money in the stock market. We're all aware of that. And what people have to do, understand, is that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. You have to put in some work, educate yourself about the market. But more importantly, as I've been talking about here for who knows how long, you have to educate yourself about yourself. Educate yourself about your beliefs. What do you believe about the stock market? Is it your Lucky Charms pot of gold? Or is it your system, your business to support your family? And if you treat it like a business, and I'll end with this, or I'll end this point with this. How many people start a business without a business plan? I've done it. We're aware of what we have to do to be traders, to be consistent. But do we believe it? And more importantly, do we act upon it? So, that basically, as Mark says, puts people in a dual world. We have contradictory beliefs. We are aware of certain things, but we don't necessarily believe it. And again, he goes back to the software code to say that, that battle between your beliefs and your awareness kind of distracts you on your ability to stay focused and accomplish your goals, because you're trying to, as he says, put your foot on the gas and the brakes at the same time and do a spin out, You have to understand that you have to take the time to put action. That's what separates, people who do and people who don't. Action. Put some time into yourself, develop your plan, and 2009 is going to be a great year for you. So, you guys know, check out our blog. And you can get the podcast version, accendotraders.com/subscribe podcast HTML. Download the podcast. That's the full version. This is the abbreviated version that you're seeing here. The full version has our picks for the week. And that leads us into, obviously, those people who want to be a paid member and get our daily stock picks. And again, we're talking about video here. We're not talking about something you read. Visual representation of why we're buying these stocks. Again, check out our blog. And also, for 2009, we want to go ahead and start building our list. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/AccendoTraders. For 2009, we're going to start putting out some information there that's going to be valuable. So go ahead and start getting on the list now. Again, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/AccendoTraders. Thanks. Happy holidays. And everybody, I hope 2009 brings you nothing but joy and happiness. And more importantly, action.